Yo, yo, yo.
Foreshadowed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to North Carolina. We are right at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the small town of Marion, just about an hour and a half away from the city of Charlotte, at the North Cove Disc Golf and Leisure Club for the 2023 Innova Blue Ridge Championships.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at the can of current conditions. It has certainly shaped up today. A lot of the thunderstorm warnings are now gone. The day is warmed up, 66 degrees.
Just gonna eat some dinner, so I'll be quiet for a minute.
Players are very grateful, including one Ricky Wysocki. Put on a show and had a great comeback at the Music City Open last week. And he looks like he is ready for another push towards the top. And here in the booth, Brian Earhart joined here by Nate Perkins. Nate, the band's back together, and we are at a phenomenal property for disc golf.
Ricky's coming back from injury, isn't he?
Fairs out here.
Well, Brian, it's an honor to be joining you here in the booth, and this is one of the finest settings for disc golf on the entire East Coast. We're here in the Catawba River Valley. We've got the Linville Gorge to our east. We've got the Blue Ridge Parkway to our west. And as far as Ricky Wysocki, I don't think his wrist is really going to be much of an issue at all. We had a chance to speak with him. He said physically it's not bothering him, but mentally he's still kind of searching for the pain and the inflammation that once was there. And we saw him shoot a 7 down on his final 9 holes at Music City. I know that was a little overshadowed from Simon's 8 under par, but I think he's in fine form right here, Brian.
And I think the putt is the big thing that people are iffy about, because he said that was the part of his game that was starting to worry him, especially in regards to the pain. And then in practice, I saw his forehand looked a little shaky. It kind of worried me if he maybe didn't have the full power to snap the disc. But you were on the ground following all the players. How did his forehand, backhand, everything look?
Well, yeah, there on 17, we could actually see he kind of throw his body into it a little bit, which we don't normally see from Rick. He actually missed that short birdie, but a 7 down on his last 9 holes. He is primed coming into this event.
Well, he's still the current world number 1. I think in the people's minds right now, Calvin Heimberg is the number 1, but according to the point system, Ricky is still on top. And he still has a lot to prove this season. There's a lot of people who are wondering if he has what it takes to beat this man.
I mean, Calvin is leading every driving category right now, Brian. And when the wind is down, I don't know if anyone's putt can keep up with him.
Well, we talked about this last week at the Music City Open. He's putting 38% from Circle 2, and he's a push putter. He's at the stretch of the tour where the wind affects the putt the most. As we move into the more wooded courses, he only has more of an advantage.
Trevor Harbolt made his first appearance on the Pro Tour just last week at Music City. 30th place. Pretty solid golf.
And hole 1 is brutal right off the bat. That's out of bounds. This narrow sliver of a fairway is lined with out of bounds on both sides. Players can go up and around with a hyzer and challenge the wind, or they can go up the gut like Trevor was trying. It's just not easy any way you spin it.
Yeah, there is a bit of a right to left that is kind of helping swing this hyzer back from right to left. Well thrown.
It's a great shot there from AJ.
Welcome to T-Pad 1, Gannon, Burr.
With how much OB there is on this course, Gannon has to shape up. He is not in the top 10 in OB percentage. So this is a big focus for him this week.
Kind of gets that one flat. That looked a little early out of the hand. But he relies on that stability and just dunks into the green.
If you don't know Caleb Hall, you're about to know Caleb Hall. This is the man that hit the viral ace on this property, 600 feet plus. Such a talent. That's not going to cut it, unfortunately, for Caleb. Such a challenging opening hole. And we have to throw it back to what we were talking about. This is hole 14 at the Boulders. The FPO played it this morning. Sarah Hokum threw in for eagle, but look at this. 600 feet plus in.
This is in a tournament too, guys, a B-tier event. He was playing MA1, throws it over 600 feet.
Caleb is a big kid, basketball player. He's currently in community college, age 19, and he's just along for the ride right now. Here's Chris Dickerson on the second.
And this is right on the bank of the Catawba River. Chris has shaped this one up brilliantly. Checks up inside circle one.
And that's a good shot, too. Heiser's not really a good play on hole number 2. We'll take a look more. But Nate, we got to go to Nate's notes, brought to you by blackinkdisc.com, the premium disc golf store.
Yeah, nose angles are key out here, Brian. We've got a lot of uphill shots, and then we've got some pretty spectacular downhill shots. And you don't want to get that nose too high on those downhill shots. You'll drift and find the out of bounds. And, of course knowledge. I think that Andrew Diabolical Duval has conjured up a very difficult course with a lot of OB. You need to know where it's at, and you need to stay patient. You need to know that this course is...
I'm actually gonna change something here. I'm gonna change just to the MPO.
Blue Ridge
Challenge matches it or supersedes it somehow, and we have this challenging par 3 to start, 381 feet, a distance that's very attackable, but left and right of the path it's hazard. There's also a
I just switched it to this one so I'd run a bit faster.
Innova Blue Ridge Championship at North Cove. This is our feature card on day 1. Welcome to T-Pad 1. Double G, Garrett, Girthy.
yeah, on this one you can choose to go up that gap, or there is this hyzer shot on the right. You really have to just clear the top of these bare trees by a couple feet and swing it back. Today's wind was head slightly off the right, so kind of helps move this disc back left here. That looks inside though.
Yeah, this is one of the nicest settings for disc golf on the East Coast, honestly.
Big Germ, Jeremy Colling.
We are nestled in the Catawba River Valley. We have the Linville Gorge off to the east and the Blue Ridge Parkway off to our west.
Yeah, definitely a special place to be. Kind of gives us those Vermont vibes I know I've heard from a lot of players, and I definitely got that myself.
And this course was designed by Andrew Duvall, who has had a hand in designing some holes over at Winthrop Gold.
Welcome to T-Pad
Yeah, we know
1.
Andrew likes to push
Ricky
the envelope.
Wysocki.
It's nice to see Jeremy on a feature card.
Finished in 8th place at the Music City Open last weekend, shooting 7 under on the final 9 holes of the event. Comes up a little short with his felon right there.
For day 1, Calvin Heimberg.
And Calvin is leading every category off the tee, Connor.
Yeah, he's had an amazing season. If you haven't been keeping up as close yet, he's finished on the podium. He has the longest current podium streak.
Yep, he just
And the
tied
longest.
Macbeth 5 in a row.
I think longest streak since 2019 that we saw. And sneaks it inbounds right there. Spikes just inside the circle. He is going to have that big boulder to deal with, though, so maybe we'll see a...
Is there a chance?
The basketball
Is there a
putt off the
chance we
start?
see a basketball putt, Connor? And kind of an uncomfortable distance for Germ, and he cashes it.
Oh, it looked like he didn't know whether he went in or not. Maybe bounced off the rock a little bit. Hard to tell. Yeah, Rick having to go to the horseshoe putt almost just to get an angle. And there's a couple greens out here where you can be inside the circle with just no chance, or very low chance, I should say, because there's always a chance, right, Calvin?
Kobe.
Oh, almost
Off the nub.
Slide
No
off the
way.
Yeah, there's a couple very bouldery greens out here, and I don't know. I feel like you almost have to have like use your second putter on some of these greens just to not chip your first one up.
And this is probably one of the most technical courses that we're going to see all year on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. This is a Silver Series event, counting for 50% of the points.
Yeah, typically on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, we see the birdie race alive. Par has never felt better than on a course like this, and Jerem sneaks it over the rock by an inch.
I was
Steal that one.
hovering over that boulder. All right, hole 2, you are right on the bank of the Catawba River. It's a par 3, 390 feet. There's a Mando right off the tee that prevents you from going pure hyzer. You kind of have to shape one around these young trees and use the stability of your disc. And OB only 35 feet long and 12 feet right of this pin.
Yeah, this one's a very specific, you got to kind of turn it, but keep the nose angle up. Otherwise, you'll find that OB long very quickly. So, very skillful shot here.
Germ not quite getting enough turn on that Thunderbird, and that is that's a big mistake right there, Connor. I believe that tree is out of bounds. I believe he might have to re-tee.
Yeah, if you don't miss long right here, your miss is short. It's kind of a nightmare. You're pretty much, like Nate said, re-teeing, and Garrett, ooh, good ground action to stay in there. Would have been unfortunate to see that slide over the ridge.
And I believe that's a Firebird from Garrett. We're going to be seeing quite a bit of that from him. And Calvin going Draco. Ripping this one over on Annie.
A lot safer of a line. And oh my gosh, off the flag stick, you guys. Ugh,
I think that flag might have saved him, honestly.
absolutely saved him.
Ricky going Raptor Eye Felon.
Yeah, that looks masterfully thrown.
Beautiful shape right there. It's exactly what they were looking for, and Germ is going to re-tee. He was actually unaware that his disc never crossed in bounds. His card mates had to let him know that that tree is actually just short of the line.
Yeah, this hole looks pretty straightforward, but that out of bounds is so tight, and that miss low is pretty daunting, so it's easy to see players blast it out the back. Like we said, Calvin ringing up the flagpole, getting kind of fortunate, staying in. This is one of those courses where it feels like to score birdies, you have to throw a shot that's like within 95 percentile of like the exact shot you wanted. Otherwise, the punishment comes quick.
Oh, we're gonna see the tiniest greens. I mean, there's 5 greens out here that are smaller than Circle 1.
No, oh, there's yeah, at least 5 that are like just outside of bullseye range, and at least half of them where Circle 1 is significantly impacted.
Getting a good look at that little shuffle and pump that Calvin is making a career out of. One of the best. Oh, that flag definitely saved him, Connor.
Yeah, he would have ramped off the top of that one into the river. Good thing is it feels nice and chill in there, so a little ice bath. And here we are in hole 3. Very interesting par 4. This first shot plays on kind of a peninsula of inbounds area. You're looking to avoid being in this little ditch if you can, just to have good footing. And then second shot, you're playing across, more out of bounds. And I think this is the first time we've seen a sand trap used as the inbounds area on a disc golf course, with the surrounding area being out of bounds. And this one barely bigger than the bullseye as you get close, but there is kind of a fatter area of the green to the left to bail out to.
Garrett's actually attacking this hole.
What? I didn't even fathom this play, you guys, and I don't think almost anybody did, but honestly, oh my gosh.
Oh, just 15 feet short of the sand.
And honestly, that's a pretty smart play from him, just in terms of the way these drop zones kind of equally punish you, regardless of whether you go out super early or you go out late. You kind of get to go up and still probably save a par. And Garrett trying to take advantage of that. Calvin masterfully lays down that mid-range.
Into the ditch.
Oh, fuck. In the ditch.
It's like 300 feet from the tee to the end of that ditch. And right past that ditch, it's only about 250 feet to the pin. And Jerem really just getting over on that forehand, and that's kind of a unforced error right there.
Yeah, he was probably trying to beat the ditch like you're talking about, and it makes the shot a lot harder. I think it could be, if you're a good enough forehand player, I think accepting that being in the ditch can be okay, because then you can throw another standstill forehand the way Rick did and put it in close. That was well done.
A little bit of tailwind left to right here on this shot. Calvin going Toro.
Yeah, you could see he put quite a bit of angle on it. He wanted to make sure to prioritize getting inbounds versus being in that small pocket near the basket.
So is this whole hazard around the sand, or is it's OB?
Yeah, it's all out of bounds. There's
Drop zone.
and shots off the tee that go out of bounds go to DZ1, where you see Garrett and Germ throwing from here, and then any subsequent shots that were in the fairway advance to a drop zone that's about 80 feet from the basket over there by the sand trap.
Germ putting that AVR X3 in the bullseye, and I guess the risk reward is there for Garrett. I mean, if the drop zone's only a 240-foot shot.
100%. Yeah, there's one of those courses, there's a couple holes where, with these two different drop zones, where if you play aggressive off the tee, your worst case scenario is kind of like a double bogey, but then if you do end up getting up there and giving yourself a 2 or a 3, you're definitely grabbing a lot of strokes. So calculated risk from Double G. There are some holes out here though that you do not want to mess with. Garrett whacking the sand off his disc. And yeah, if you have that forehand, it really comes in handy throwing out of this ditch. Otherwise, the backhand footwork is just so tricky.
And Rick said that the wrist is not really bothering him.
That's good to hear.
We're all thankful to have him back in form.
This looks perfect. Off the basket. Now it's rolling. It's headed for the OB. This needs to sit. Oh my goodness, it's safe.
3.
Faces back north. We are headed up into the woods here. Slight draw from left to right. Only 300 feet, but this hole does ascend 12 feet from tee to green. Shapes up a little better for the backhand turnover than it does the forehand, but you don't want to overturn this one as you will kind of dig into that hill and roll backwards. And beautiful shot from Ricky. He kind of went faster on that one. He threw fairway.
Yeah, I feel like this is that range that it feels like mid-range is right there, but I don't know. 12 feet uphill, it seems like it plays a little more, and it seems like it's playing kind of in that 330 to 40 range. And with that boulder being short, also I think most players are happy being long of this one, having an open putting lane.
And that's kind of what happens if you overturn this shot.
Yeah, we see even Calvin reaching on that seasoned eagle of his. Probably one of those holes a lot of players stepped up initially, thought mid-range, but after throwing it a little bit realized, okay, try to pump it long. Just another one slightly overturned. We know Jeremy Colling's really good with the straight forehands. Let's see if he can pin this one down there. Ooh, a little rejection from the hillside. There's a lot of out of bounds out here, you guys, and there are some steep slopes. We see some of the most brutal rollaways that you'll see out here. And this hole can definitely give them out.
I feel like
Jeremy kind of taking a second look at that one. Pretty big miss
with
there.
the sport growing so fast that they need to start getting more tougher for the tournaments. There's just way too many above average players.
Oh, front cages it, double G. Great creativity.
Connor, the first time I met Double G, he put a Sonic in my lap from 350 feet away across the field at Beaver State Fling.
Most people know Garrett for his big power, but he has equally as much touch and big Jeremy
that's a
is a bit
slap.
out of sorts here. Unfortunate bogey.
Jeremy was doing so good too.
He's going to be kicking himself after that one. Hopefully he can dial it in. This one played at .2 under par, and with that being the easiest on the course, it just shows you how hard this track's playing.
Little turkey for Rick.
The Raptor is running. And yeah, this first stretch of the course feels a little more scoreable than that late stretch, so you really want to come out swinging here. And hole 5 is a very unique par 4, I should say. Out of bounds surrounding both sides, and you have to land on this ridge. Got to make sure to come in with the proper angle so you don't skip too far or roll
Looks
either
pretty
way.
tight.
And kind of pick your poison, how much distance you want to grab off the tee. Coming into the green, you'll probably have kind of a low ceiling hyzer or the straight shot here if you push it
Nice
far enough.
though. I like it.
Steep slope to the right of the basket to avoid, so most players will be coming in with that right to left moving shot into the green.
You can almost reach out and touch this first tree that's in front of the tee.
Oh, he needs to come
And
in.
Ricky flattens that one out, and he's going to be out of bounds, taking it way back.
Way back.
You really only need, 300 to 350 off this tee.
I find
Just
Garrett
need to
runs up
press
like leaning backwards
That
almost.
first hill.
Yeah, you really just got to hit a very specific height window on an overstable disc flat, I feel like here, and then kind of let the disc do the work.
Oh, this
You want to be
This
flat,
needs
but
to
I guess
skip
just
in.
that tinge of hyzer is going to help keep you from pushing too straight and finding the spot that Ricky did.
Oh, Garrett went Firebird, and that was a Quasar from Calvin. And this is Germ's Halo Boss.
Wow, this is very aggressive, and hopefully he can check up on that steep hill.
Oh,
Yeah, just Big Germ
surprising
just
how many
finding out
people went out.
all the ways that this course can really challenge you. The out of bounds will come fast, and sometimes you can have one of those days you're throwing pretty good shots, but you're just finding yourself barely out of bounds, and this course will drain you.
Yeah, the mistakes are kind of adding up for Germ. Ricky's about 470 out here, carrying OB almost the entire way.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty long and scary bid there, but I don't know if I've seen Ricky lay up very often, so let's see what he's feeling here. Yeah, you can just see Germ's body language. He's kind of a little pressed already, and hopefully he can find a birdie here fast, because
Yeah, he's
feeling
beating
some type of
himself
way
up.
on this course it can make it just extra challenging.
Oh, and he's landing a forehand turnover with this AVR X3. This is a technical shot.
Just
Does
a
it have
simple
enough turn?
AVR.
Oh,
Big Germ just ditching the backhand out here, or what?
oh, green.
Yeah, there's
Double
quite a bit.
checking
Oh.
to red.
No.
This is getting out of hand.
Double out on.
I
Fuck.
wonder why he went backhand or forehand turnover there. I mean, he's got a great backhand as well. And double G, will he find the same fate? Oh, he gets the
Okay.
fortune
That's better.
of the draw.
Calvin, after a pretty big drive, has less than 250 into the green. It's kind of
Yeah, it's kind of the range
Ideal.
I like to play that driver off the tee just so you can come in with a slower disc ideally. Looks like he went with the Toro there.
Cash it up. Ah,
and that's a tough ask for Ricky.
didn't hold the turn.
Even then, he tries to give it a look. Ricky is fearless, you guys.
Just lays it up. Oh. Seems like he's already done. He already gave out.
Going
He
to be
checked
another
out.
tough pill to swallow for Big Germ.
And you can see that white string just 6 inches behind Garrett's disc. There was really nothing in the way to stop him from just rolling out.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe he just got some of that rock
Oh,
play that
no.
slowed his disc down enough. And
Wow.
man, this isn't really one of those sides of the green that you expect to roll on, but North Cove has teeth, and it has a variety of them. Oh, no.
Man.
Oh my God. Back and forth.
Oh, and
Back and
fortunately it
forth.
checks up, but yeah, it's a pretty flat green to roll out to 30. All right.
Only gets the
Unfortunate
bogey,
three
though.
putt there for Double G.
Yeah, his first bogey
It's
of the
not the
round,
worst.
probably not the hole that he was expecting to take it on after landing in bounds on the drive. This definitely feels like one of the more tame holes out here. And Ricky's here to score today. I don't think we'll see much gray on his card.
Another double.
And just like that, Germ finds himself 4 over par.
You know, as simple as this hole seems, it played .32 over par today, so those out of bounds strokes come quick, both on the tee shot and coming into the green, especially if you hang it out to the right.
Those curls are kind of dropping down in his vision.
Yeah, Calvin's getting to the point he's going to have to make a decision. Is he chopping the fro all the way down, or how's he doing it?
He's trimming.
Nice looking rip on
Just
that
keep it
Quasar
trimmed.
right there. Right, hole 6. The first of a few mound holes out here. This one only 272, but just so hard to get this disc to stop moving. Ideal shot is a flat backhand that hits the front side of this hill to slow it down, or a forehand spike hyzer round these trees on the left side. Calvin going Toro.
Ooh, checks the
small
hill
fairway.
nicely. If he crests that at all, you guys,
But
he's finding
dangerous
that out of
putt.
bounds long, even though he threw the right disc. This one is so particular, like Nate said. Will we see Jerem go with the forehand route? Let's see. Rick playing up the middle, drawing over an overstable disc, and he just threw that one literally as good
Perfect.
as you can. Other than going in the basket, I guess, but honestly, that's a miss, because if you miss the basket, you're out of bounds, guaranteed.
And Garrett going down tempo on this rock right here.
Oh,
and
no.
just misses the hill, and that's just as you said, Connor. If you don't hit that hill, it finds OB quick. And Jerem going to play that spike forehand. This is his Halo boss again.
Reaching real high on this one.
At least get in
Looks
circle.
like he has the movement, and that soft ground makes him not have to worry about another roll away. And yeah, this drop zone is almost unrunnable. You pretty much just have to lay up. But the layup's kind of tricky because the slope gets super steep.
So-
You really almost can't lay up into the bullseye without fears of that roll away happening.
Drop zone for any OB, huh?
Yeah, and you'll be
Oh.
off the tee, goes to drop zone. After that, I believe you play from the last place to inbound.
I think the wind got to him there. A little headwind.
Uphill into a gentle headwind. And Calvin sticks it.
Yeah, Calvin's probably in the best place to be there. If you can barely crest the hill and somehow check up inbounds long, you can kind of putt back at the slope.
Nice bird.
Yeah, this one's, I mean, camera never does it justice. We got to say it every time, but this slope is, it's really real on this one. It's at least probably 40%, and as soon as you hit that cage, you're kind of praying that you don't roll away out of bounds, maybe just circle's edge down there.
Calvin B-roll.
Oh,
Oh.
it's even more of a quality catch than I thought.
Those Innova baskets showing love to their top dog.
Not bad.
Here's a look at
We got -4 so far. Gannon here -3. But he's yeah, I guess they're right ahead. And then I T-bet in front of them or right behind him. Chase future. Not bad.
that leaderboard. A lot of pretty looking scores, but I'm sure we will see some flipping up as we continue on. Hole 7.
Oh wait.
This one's one of the
No,
more
that's how I
straightforward
finished.
holes out here. Only really this hazard bunker to deal with right in front of the tee that honestly, if you find, I'm sorry because I don't know how you found it, but coming into this gap, you want the disc to just be gently moving to the right, not hard, not too soft, but just a little movement to the right. If you can beat these boulders, you're very happy. If not, you have some kind of scramble shot to try to get up to this rocky green. This one definitely gives those East Coast wooded course vibes, and yeah, it's a good birdie to pick up if you can throw your drive where you want.
Yeah, the ideal landing zone starts right around 320 feet and kind of extends out to 360, and it's kind of like trying to land your disc on a trail in the woods. I mean, it is a skinny fairway, and
Yeah, that's a very, very good description there.
Oh, nice.
It is
Ooh.
truly like a walking path in terms of the right side of the boulders there that you want to find.
Decent.
Rick gets a nice shape on that one, hits the boulders, and he's going to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, you should have that standstill lead out forehand from there. Germ takes a
Ooh.
flare skip down towards the little creek there. It does play casual,
He has a
and
scramble
we
to
have
make.
been told that we get relief back from any boulders. So if you don't want to play on top of a boulder, you can take relief directly back.
And heading
was
into this
beautiful.
round, these players were kind of preparing for, the worst weather. We had thunderstorms on the radar, and then it turned out to be a pretty pleasant afternoon down here in the valley.
Yeah, also like Vermont, this place is hard to read weather-wise because we have a couple weather forecasts you can take on the weather app, but they're both from towns that are like 20 minutes away. We're up here in the mountains where sometimes stuff just gets diverted, and you could be preparing for the worst. But like Nate said, luckily today it held off until hole 18 pretty much. So that was
Look at that
quite the blessing.
scramble.
I can't imagine playing this course in the wet as well.
Garrett and Calvin getting creative there from the short side of the boulders, and this is pretty much the ideal landing zone.
This hole looks pretty tough.
Ricky kind of hangs on to that forehand.
Oh,
Wow, that was a great pop out of the hand from Big Germ, not being able to use much legs.
get it.
Can't lie, this second half of this hole gives me big Iron Hill vibes. So
I
it
hate.
really does.
I hate his putting. Just the hyzer all the way.
And that is just the last nub for Garrett, and Calvin with somewhat of a death putt puts it high and on the pole. He's 4 under.
clean card, and that's
All of a
going to
sudden.
be really hard to do out here.
Little turkey.
It'd almost be very surprising to see any player get through the round without a
Heimberg.
bogey.
Heimberg just
Calvin's
needs to play it
staving him
out.
off so far.
Then he could stay on top. Just power out from here. But I heard there's lots of OB coming in soon.
Double G keeping it calm, keeping it cool out here. And you're going to need that because this course will test you and it'll break your mind sometimes. Not if you deliver them high, deliver them flat.
All right, hole 8,
So-
par 4, 584.
Tight OB
You're
halfway
kind of
down.
limited with how much distance you can bite off the tee here. There is
580.
some OB that creeps in on the right side, marked by those rocks and a white line in the grass, and then
Pretty big.
there is an OB line in the woods. You can only throw about 350 off the tee, and then you can either go big hyzer around the trees or kind of flip something up through this gap.
Yeah, off this tee, you can kind of decide, do I take this wide gap, take it really easy, or do I go with this inside gap that it looks like Calvin's lining up to try to move the disc more right and open up the approach angle?
Yeah,
I feel like
the further right you are, the more options you have. From where Calvin's at, it ascends another 20 feet from fairway to green.
Ricky pushing this one a little bit further, but able to get enough right movement. He should have a very manageable approach.
What an
And he
awkward
probably has only
tee pad.
about 260 feet of distance to go.
580 foot hole with like a tree right off the tee pad. A gap, tight gap. This course looks pretty tough.
Have we seen a backhand out of Big Germ yet? Oh, hole two. Yeah, you have to throw it there. Garrett feathers that rock shot up there, hanging out. I believe.
So this is about 350 into the green, 20 feet uphill.
Oh,
Oh, that was scary
Belays
inside.
it.
But he beats the corner and he is.
is he gonna get
parked.
another
Yeah,
birdie?
this is
4 in a
another hole
row.
where scrambling is just not really an option. There's an OB line, just maybe 20 feet into the woods there.
Yeah, it looks like Garrett might have found it, might have got
Ooh.
fortunate and just stayed in bounds. Let's find
Jeremy's going sketchy.
out. Jerem overturns that.
Out
And
of
he finds
bounds?
that
He
out of
finds it.
bounds.
No way.
Man, it is just compounding for him right now. Look, he
Yeah.
is deflated.
Ricky just going Harper slammer on the force over
Nice.
forehand, and honestly, that shapes really well for the way this green slopes.
Jeremy, I feel bad for him.
And it was just 5 months ago, almost to the day, that Germ he tied the knot here. I was at the wedding in November, and it means a lot to him to return to North Cove, and
Yeah, it plays it
I
safe.
know that he had some high expectations coming into the event, and it is just not going his way thus far.
He'll clean it up. Round 2. Round 2's his.
Yeah,
And
everyone here looking to
let him
get that
sleep on
Silver
it.
Series action, and they know the win can come to anybody on a course this challenging.
4 in a row.
But as soon as you let your mind kind of slip off that slope, it can be a very hard battle out here.
Hamburg's doing so
4 in a
good this
row for
season.
Calvin. Matching the best pace that we've seen.
Yeah, tough bogey for Jeremy. Probably one of the easier par fours, more straightforward out here. You really just got to beat that out of bounds line on your second shot, and there's a lot of room off to the right to hang it, so hopefully he can make the adjustment coming into tomorrow. And hole 9, finishing out the front 9 with a bomber par 3 out of bounds on this cart path and right, as well as here on the wood line the entire way to the left. Also
Nice.
wraps around the backside.
Looks like a fun.
This one is 496 feet, plays gently uphill. We had a little bit of headwind kind of flashing its face today.
Par 3 though,
Really
it's
need
kind
to
of
move
tight.
the disc from the left to the right to be able to get to this one. If you don't get that turn and a little bit of fade back, it's really hard. It's easy to find that out of bounds left or to overturn it here.
So 490
Definitely that distance that's really kind of pushing the ability of the players.
with a death putt at the
Yeah,
end.
this one asks a lot. 500 feet, and there is, again, no opportunity to
Oh.
scramble. Right at 50 feet, that OB kind of tapers off left.
What?
But if
Was that
Calvin hyzers
safe?
out any earlier, it's an instant bogey.
Even then, he has to be like on the line almost, because yeah, the way his line was looking, it looked scary. And Rick
Oh.
though
These
drives
guys
that
are-
one. One of the rare circle one looks here.
That's as
What
good
an
as it gets,
arm.
really.
Absolutely.
Garrett's going to look to follow that shot. Destroyer here.
Yeah, we know Double G separates himself on holes like this, and this one is coming in cruising.
Wow, and he matches that shot, Connor, without as much turn. Just kind of a flat line that gets there. And he's just throwing just a few miles per hour faster than Ricky.
Jerem puts a nice move on this one. Can he get it to fade out? No.
No.
Man, it has been tough going. That was a great looking line for Jeremy.
Oh, he
a
just
little
doesn't
too
care
much
anymore.
turn. And very quickly pitches up. Gotta be careful out
Yeah.
here.
He's done.
He's almost had a mistake on every hole since the first. He's going to be 6 over on this front.
Oh,
Calvin putting for a 6 down.
Dang, I wonder if Calvin caught some of those trees over there to stay in bounds. He really pushed that one long. That was
You
impressive
still
power.
see?
Ricky making that one look easy, and that means Double G is even closer.
Yeah, those are two of the closest drives that you're going to see on the 9th. And gets Garrett back to even. And Ricky with 6 birdies on the front 9, Connor.
That's pretty intense. This course is hard to score on. And yeah, Ricky's here to press. Hole 9 actually played as the second most difficult hole on the course, so to see 2 birdies on it, most definitely rare. We only saw 6 on the day. Shout out to Mox Fish, Matty O, and Ben Calloway for grabbing the other 4.
And
And
the
we-
Gorge is just such an interesting course. It's unlike any that we're going to see on the tour. And, you know, for some players, they felt like the OB was a little too tight. But, you know, for me as a fan and a spectator, I feel like it's pretty exciting golf to watch. And
Oh, look at this. +6. Pretty bad front 9, but he can come back, hopefully.
Central Coast capturing the action for you guys.
Yeah, this course most definitely is going to test the physical abilities, but especially the mental abilities of the players. You got to throw crisp to score. And you
Taking a look
gotta-
at this leaderboard.
Okay. Harper and Calvin. 5-5. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm just going to switch it to round 2.
It's at the North Cove Disc Golf and Leisure Club, about 2 hours northwest of Charlotte and about an hour northeast of Asheville. We are in the Catawba River Valley, and it is a beautiful setting for disc. We got back-to-back demanding par 3s here, Connor. What do you think about the 10th?
Yeah, the 10th has to be one of the biggest kind of bait holes on the course. If you have that big right-hand forehand, you feel like you can press it into that hill, or if you play maybe some kind of tricky roller, you can try to get up there. But feeling like you need to birdie this one can be kind of, like I said, it's a bit of a bait, and Ricky puts it about as good as you want to repeatably do. Steep slope. If you're anywhere short of this gap, especially on the short right side, there are hundreds of trees in your way.
And Ricky just jamming on that
Roller.
drive. And this is the shot I really wanted to see.
Okay.
Saw a couple of these work out in practice, but that's a little early.
He
from
can
Garrett,
scramble.
and it is dense over there. Honestly, he's in circle 2, but it might be tough to get up and down.
100%. You can be 60 feet short right of this basket, and you can legitimately have like 120 trees in your way. There are so many tiny
Nice.
trees here, all just clustered together, rarely even giving you lanes through. We'll see if Garrett can even fit the disc through horizontally, or if he'll have to roll it or something.
Jeremy needs
Cullen
a
just
birdie.
taking that eagle and kind of conceding the circle 2 putt there.
Class. That's perfect.
Jerm with a nice forehand with that boss. Let's see if he can turn this back 9 around, Connor.
Yeah, a big putt here would really
Oh.
kindle his round and hopefully get him going, because it was a tough front. This slope is extremely steep here too, so
Oh.
my gosh, Calvin is cashing it in.
What was that, like 80
Shout out to the
feet?
grounds crew. I asked them to trim some stumps on this one for cases like that, where you make a huge putt and you feel excited. You don't want to look out for the stumps. And
That's definitely going to be a highlight.
Mikey Freeze, you're welcome, Calvin. Oh, that one looks like it hit something and kind of caught edge. Hopefully he's set.
Forehand roller from inside circle 2.
Like we said, he has to go vertical with the disc because there's just no
Sit.
way.
He's
That was
done it. Oh, he's pumped.
He knows how
Roller.
demoralizing missing a up and down from there could be. And
Oh, and just 1% of the field? Does that mean that Calvin was the
insane.
only birdie? Or were there 2? I think that means it's only 1.
yeah, it
There
looks
were
like
150 people in the field.
Oh, look at this replay.
we had actually 2 birdies. Mr. Freddie Mesa joining Calvin. The only birdie is on hole 10, and I'm guessing he probably did it from a long way out as well.
Calvin's putting
Wow.
38%
on the season from circle 2, Connor.
That is filthy. And a putt like this, I mean, that's almost borderline circle 3 as uphill as that thing is. And if he can keep putting like that, he's going to be hard to contend with, and he's going to keep finding himself contending for the win. 11 is a beautiful and fun one to throw.
It does look beautiful.
375 feet. You shoot out of this gap here off the tee, kind of forcing you to play something of the straighter variety. Most players looking to go fairway driver and just hammer it flat. Let it kind of check up into this hillside, and this is a slopey green, you guys. Circle 2 putts are almost a no-go on this one, because if you miss it, the rollaways are coming, and sometimes for hundreds of feet.
I find a lot of these baskets are up on mounds with like death putts. This whole course, every basket seems like to be on a slope.
Yeah, Calvin just a little early with that eagle. He's going to have circle's edge putt, but it's one of those baskets that you'd really like to be closer on.
Most mere mortals are feeling extremely scared of that putt. Let's see how Calvin's feeling.
Ricky skates to circle's edge long, kind of back into the crosswind there. Probably the most exposed basket on the course as far as wind is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what you want out of Garrett. Just a little bit of drag to the right so you can land flat. And
That's so pretty, man. Blow rock 3.
Wow. Okay, so I think Ricky went trust. It looked like he kind of went mid-range, and I was wondering what disc that was.
Oh.
And Germ stables out a little early, and he's going to have tailwind, 45-footer.
That no-go zone, but Germ is looking to get it going so he doesn't feel like he can just leave another stroke on the table. That's where this course can get extremely tricky.
Ooh.
Bang.
Beauty.
Tricky. We know Ricky knows how to make it happen. Your 2-time world champ cashing in there. Oh, off the band for Calvin, and he sits. Wow, that is... You rarely see a metal hit, especially a band hit that sits on this one. Calvin's just playing that kind of disc golf right now.
Garrett drops a nice hyzer putt in there.
Garrett always has her putts.
Yeah, Garrett's had a solid round going, been really close to.
How did he get this far
numbers, so
as a professional hyzer putts?
Get it rolling here on the back. Man,
I'm jealous.
Almost 3 birdies on the challenging 11th. Yeah, there's that trust out of Rick. Just hammering on the mid-range. Luckily catches a bit of that hill on the left so he doesn't slither over too far.
All right, hole 12. The signature hole out here at the gorge.
Looks very tight.
Tee shot descends 30 feet from tee to fairway. Players can either throw any to the left of the first grouping of trees or kind of a low hyzer flip on the right side. You're looking to go, anywhere from 400 to 500 feet off of this tee, and then the OB just continues to shrink in around this pin. Ricky's lining up that hyzer on the right side, and
this one's massively downhill, so you can use a number of different kind of disc selections to get up there. But if you want a birdie, I feel like you got to throw that fast edge disc off the green to make sure you don't have too long of an approach as it really narrows down.
And Ricky kind of went max overstable right there, and he's going to be at the short end of the landing zone. Garrett kind of pushing the middle. Calvin's looking to get this destroyer to flip up and ride just a little bit. Gets that nose down and just hammers this disc.
Yeah, it's going to be a great spot from Calvin, and moves it left enough to where he could even put just like a touch of hyzer into the green. Germ going forehand once again, just really sticking to his strong suit, and steps up, throws that in no time, barely gives the camera time to catch it.
Off on that right side kind of closes your line a little bit, makes you throw a turnover into the screen, and Ricky just completely getting on top of that disc, and
out of bounds.
That's a big mistake. I mean, he was, 475 into the green.
I'm wondering if Germ has some kind of
Why doesn't
injury
he
that's
four
keeping
in
him
that
from
time?
throwing more backhands, because I just don't know why he wouldn't throw a backhand on this hole off the tee.
He throws forehand
Really
off the
opens up your
tee, but then
options and
backhands
Yeah, I'm
helps
the
you.
curious as
layup.
well. Sometimes we've seen him when, when the confidence gets down, Connor, he loses faith in his backhand skills, and it's hard to see from the outside because we all know that he can shape any line.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks of him as a forehand player, but I feel he's pretty equally a two-way player when he needs to be. Obviously, he really likes the approach game with the forehand, but yeah, I know he has an amazing power backhand.
And Calvin, from just inside 400 feet,
Ricky could birdie
he
that.
had a little slope on the footing up here by the cart path. You can see it kind of slopes from left to right, and it
He
kind of
goes
caused
for it.
Calvin to release that eagle.
Oh!
And he's just inside circle 2.
Yeah, another 2 feet, and he pins that one into the hillside. Can he continue his highlight streak? Oh my God!
What?
You can't even make it up. I feel like we're back at Texas.
This
State.
guy's gonna have so many
This guy's
highlights.
just dropping it in from everywhere.
He is pushing the limits of what is possible at circle 2. I mean, he's going to be the first. He might potentially be the first player to go 50% on the season, Connor.
I felt like I was sarcastically saying we'll see if he has a chance, and then he just makes good once again. That's incredible, Calvin Heimberg. Yeah,
Wow.
unfortunate error there from Ricky. If you don't get enough distance off the tee and you really have to press into this green, that's where this hole gets tricky. I feel like Calvin gets it up flat, gives it the pace. And he's putting on a freaking show, you guys. You're welcome. Sitting atop that board as well. Kyle Klein and Harper Thompson just behind, and a bunch of 4s and 5s down. Lingering. Demanding gap of the track.
Okay.
Probably about 6 feet across at the widest as you get higher, and this
Gap.
one's 299 feet, so very attackable range.
Then swing
However, you
left.
really have to be in a very specific spot to attack on the putt here.
This
Push
one
it too far from the
technical,
right here.
but
There's some
acceptable.
little trees on the green that really block all the putting windows, so you almost have to put this one in the park zone to give yourself
Perfect.
safety.
Oh, that's just ideal flight right there. Garrett going Firebird. Calvin also going Champ Firebird here.
Oh.
Calvin missing right of the gap, but he can do no wrong right now.
Okay. He could par that easily.
And, we're not going to count him out from that range because he has a window. Ricky going very overstable. Not quite getting it as flat as he needs, and he's going to have some scrambling to do. Oh, Jeremy catches the right side framer.
That's almost instant bogey over there. I mean, just look at the rough, but also the shape. He just has to move too far back up the hill, right to left.
Would have needed some kind of crazy forehand roller to really save that one. Ricky going dagger forehand roller.
Okay. That was beauty.
Circle's edge right there for his par save.
Yeah, I'll kind of have some awkward footing in this little drainage run, so hopefully he can make good on that par save.
Oh, he could make this. That's his range.
Calvin's switching it up to maybe the straighter or like a putter he doesn't care about as much to jam it into the rocks, I wonder. I know he usually carries a kind of more beat-in version of his KC AVRs as well as the fresh ones, and Rick just off the mark. Tough
just
footing.
Didn't quite pop it off the fingertips there. It was online. Garrett for the lone birdie on 13.
Yeah, Garrett close enough to be able to straddle around that little tree, but if you're back on that same wall that he is, but double the distance, it gets really hard. There's some spots where you can be 20, 25 feet away on this basket and feel like you have a very low percentage chance of making it.
Garrett getting moving on this back nine.
Calvin has to position himself.
As if he
in the
even had
boulders,
footing.
Do a little climbing to get to his disc. And Jeremy checking out the damage on his putters. He doesn't look too
Aw.
happy. You know, Jeremy likes to tell a story with his body language as well as with his words, and he's giving it to you all today.
Yeah,
Nice
Jeremy's
look at
probably
that huck
pretty
face from Double
quiet.
G. We all know Central Coast has the best B cam in the game. Always a treat to see it.
Yeah, hole 14, a little bit of a speed control hole right here. 405 feet,
OB
descending
long
20 feet
with
from
the
tee
lake.
green, and another diabolical design here. The OB is maybe 12 feet behind this basket. We're
400
going to see
feet.
a lot of putter shots, maybe a couple mid-range shots.
Diabolical is a good word for this course.
Yeah. I actually, I dropped, I was on the live MPO broadcast, Connor, in the booth with Brian, and I dropped the Andrew Diabolical Duval.
I like it. I'm a sucker for alliteration and good vocabulary usage there too, Nate.
And Garrett using the stability of that rock 3 to kind of slow him down. And
Calvin punching on the AVR X3, the beat-in, or the AVR 3 season 1. No, it's the X3 that he throws, right? Yeah, the DX. Ricky looks like he's going with that trust again. Playing a faster disc, just maybe kind of touching up on it.
Got centered out.
And, yeah, that tree might have kept him out of that hazard to the left. Hard to tell.
I haven't actually
Oh
seen
my
this line
God,
yet.
Jeremy.
Yeah, I haven't even dreamed of that line yet. And
Oh, he's having to fly another
totally-
hazard over there, and that's going to kind of take the death putt out of the equation.
Yeah, Jeremy played that one very well.
That
He
pond
continues
is
to play
so
to his
loud.
strengths,
Oh,
or at least his perceived strengths. Come on, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's really leaned on the forehand this round. And I mean, I got a feel for him at this point. I mean, he's 8 over par, Connor.
And we still have these last 4 holes, you guys, are one of those stretches where even if you're playing great, like a lot can happen. So hopefully Jeremy can avoid some of the theatrics of the final 4.
oh, his face is
That
red.
birdie would have helped give him a little bit better headspace, but
He's seeing red.
4 in a row.
Can't
Jeez.
focus.
this
Cameraman
is
putting
definitely
in
a
work.
thrower's course, and Double G is keeping it smooth out there.
Yeah, he's kind of known for his power, but I definitely think of Garrett as a touch player.
Is Heimberg going to
Yeah, he
take
has
down
one of the most
top
incredible
score of the day?
combinations of power and touch. He throws some of the best high power shots that we've ever seen in the game, and then also has just the buttery touch to throw the most understable disc as well, and he can control them both. We know when he's making putts, he can compete with anybody.
Here we are, the four of the hardest holes on
What?
the tour. Honestly, this
Yeah.
is such a unique.
Look at this. So we have tee shot out of bounds everywhere until you get this tight landing spot. It's a par 4, so this is probably 200-300, and then another OB gap to this island, another 200-300. So off the tee, you have to go at least to this open area in order to have a chance to look at this island. But par 4, so if you get the first shot, you could miss the island and then the drop zone. You could save par at least from circle 2.
Really hard to kind of tell where you need to be, but right of this cart path, and there's a OB line on the woods there that you have to kind of just finesse it. Ideally, you crest that little hill that we saw there and land somewhere here in the flat, inbounds, to be able to attack for a birdie. Any shots that do not land in bounds will go to a drop zone that has you at about 200 feet, chipping across this out of bounds to a tiny island. We have out of bounds maybe 12 to 15 feet long in some spots and like 16 feet short. So you got to be so pinpoint coming in on this one. And
Oh, I love this play right here.
I hate it.
it almost doesn't pay to not be extra aggressive on this hole. So
Yeah, because we have some unique
No.
rules. No way does that jump the ditch.
just the perfectly wrong ground play to have him slip out of bounds there. Garrett did about as good as he could and just needed to kind of get lucky on the ground play.
Yeah, there's some unique rules here on 15. So all
Oh,
out of bounds tee shots proceed to the drop zone, which is 375 feet up the fairway,
okay.
and it's only 220 into the green. So whether you throw it OB 400 feet up or whether you go OB right off the tee, you all go to the same drop zone.
Yeah, and I think with that, most players understand that just being extra aggressive off this tee is going to pay off most of the time, or at least you can feel good about it. This hole should set up well for Jeremy. And this one looks great. Let's see if he can get the ground action. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Let's look for Jeremy to pitch up that touch AVR X3 and score a birdie here. Garrett electing for that backhand window that's right there and nearly pins it.
It's a big shot, and it's only 25 feet from front to back here, if that.
Ricky also playing the backhand window. That might show you
Ooh.
guys it's probably the better
Ooh.
line, but ooh, that tree is
That tree saved him.
Got the
absolutely
tree,
champ
love.
right there.
Oh,
Good to see Jeremy make good on that one. Hopefully he can cash this putt. Grab his first birdie of the back nine.
first birdie since hole 1.
Wow.
Oh. Not Calvin.
Just doesn't give it one the gusto, and checking his phone to see how this one's playing. Any shots that are in the fairway, the subsequent out of bounds do go to the second drop zone here on the green.
Yeah,
He could still get par though.
for Calvin.
Wait. Bogey?
I'm so fast out here.
I thought it was a par 4.
See that hole?
He did one?
0.64 over par. Almost a 50%
I don't
bogey
know.
rate. Bogey or worse, we should say.
And he was left side, Connor. Sticks it though. Oh, it's
Jeremy gets his second birdie of the round. Doesn't care.
Looking a little shell-shocked right now, and
the big guy.
rightfully so.
He needs a hug.
He does.
His wife Jules is she's taken a job with the Pro Tour, so she's not actually out here on the course like she typically is. And
Yeah, if you see Big Germ today, go give him a hug. Let him know you got this, man.
Oh, look at that. Pure focus.
we still love you. It's okay if the Gorge got the best of you.
Yeah, this is one
They
of those
got the best
courses.
of most of the players.
You can't let this
believe it
course define
averaged-
you. You can't.
I believe this course averaged 5 strokes over par. And to put it into perspective, a even par was 10,
Ooh,
27.
thanks for the sub.
Incredible.
I think 4 over was 1,000 rated, which that's like Northwoods Black level right there.
100%.
Oh
And
man,
here we are on the 16th.
this one looks tough.
Diabolical green here. That hill
It's only 370 feet though.
left to the basket, and it's got an OB string at the bottom of it. So you have to either land this one flat, or you have to spike and stick. He's only 35 feet away. He's out of bounds, headed straight to a death putt drop zone.
Yeah, this basket, I'm 6'4", and this basket was literally the bottom of my head, or the top of my head's like right at the bottom of the basket here. Just to tell you guys how elevated this one is, and Garrett spikes in, almost gives that one the chain run. He was waiting on it.
That was so
Yeah,
close.
this is a beautiful, fun hole to throw. That out of bounds line on the left is just brutally tight, though.
Yeah, crossing the Catawba for the second time during this round. Did you see that they had this basket on the bridge for
I heard that they had it,
collegiates?
yeah, on the bridge.
I couldn't believe that.
That's wild to me, yeah. And Calvin, no. It's
Oh,
a big skip off the ground. That was
gets OB twice.
One of the controversial OBs of the course. I mean,
I agree.
I feel like you should be able to putt from right there. It's
I think-
unfortunate to go straight to a drop zone.
Jeremy's ready to rip that tree out of there. He's so angry.
See Jerem cash from, but I mean,
It's a scary putt.
it's
He doesn't have anything to lose at this point, so it's almost easier for a player in his position to make a putt like that than a player of Calvin's position here. Yeah, I would like to see the out of bounds line just even pulled to the top of that ridge there. Only a couple feet would make a big difference here, because it's a good natural backstop. Calvin still gives it a run, and his misses right now are still incredibly close. You'll see as Garrett gets up here, this basket is taller than him.
Why would they do that? This basket is like 7 feet off the ground. What the heck?
Swatting away some flies or something, I don't know. But yeah, I was wondering how some players were even going to get their disc out of the basket on this one. Ricky makes good for birdie. And this one's right in that range too. You can kind of choose overstable fairway. You can go with a mid-range if you want. Whatever you do, you have to come in with the perfect height. And if you're going to basketball putt, this is probably the basket to do it on. Almost as tall as one. Another look at that spiking hyzer putt from Double G that we've come to know him for. Such a unique player and so fun to watch. Speaking of unique, hole 17 definitely has its own little flair of challenge. Out of bounds with the Catawba River here on the left. Then we have a hazard area on the right, cart path and right. So if you do want to attack this one and you are going to make an error, you probably want to hang it just a little bit too straight and hang it off to the right. A lot of discs end up in the water here when the players are going for it. Garrett looks like he's just laying up.
You've really got to be feeling the drive to go for this hole. I mean, it's 450, and the green is smaller than the circle.
Yeah, maybe 18 feet left and right you have to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 paces outside the bullseye.
So if you do lay up, you're just looking to throw 250 feet and just leave yourself with a little 200 into the green.
Yeah, all these players kind of quickly stepping up and chipping up here. That one's going to need to sit. Okay.
Calvin does have
Calvin,
a destroyer
though.
here.
Destroyer.
Oh, just gets a little too flat on that one. And the course is likely going to leak another bogey stroke from him. Making 3 in a row after he came out bogey free for so long. We told you guys this last 4 holes can really eat you up. And even if you're playing on the top of the mountain the way Calvin is, it can get you.
Now, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the Gorge disc golf course? Do you guys like seeing, tight greens like this? you like seeing short technical par fours with OB everywhere? I want to hear from the fans.
I like the technical course.
You like seeing our players reduced to just a layup on the 17th, a no thoughts pitch up.
There's too many good players. You need to separate the skill with technical courses, like I was saying.
Calvin on the metal again. This guy, as much as the course is trying to throw at him, he's still just nearly unstoppable. Ricky buries that one right on the low pole. An in control par is going to feel just fine here. This is one of those holes that, unless you're kind of tilted in your round, or unless you're just as confident as a player as Calvin, you don't feel like you really need to go for it until maybe final round if you're
Turkey bogey.
down 1, down 2, or something like that. At the same time, though, we all know our abilities to score, and that can make it even harder to take the smart play sometimes.
All right, hole 18. It is playing as the hardest hole on the course. You can either go Annie around the first grouping of trees or Heiser out and over the river. You need 340 feet of distance to cross that OB line.
818 feet, par 4. So pitch up here, maybe here. And if you land here, you could risk going to the island. But there's no drop zone. So you just put risk all the way.
And then this OB does start to pinch in right around 400 feet. But this approach to the green is why this is such a difficult par 4. There is a kind of this island with the river on both sides, but it's not all safe. They've actually strung this piece of land up, and again, it is not quite as big as the circle.
What?
And
Rain comes out of nowhere?
Yeah, it kind of bubbles out to the right, but that area you can see is definitely well smaller than the circle on the
Who
short
placed
left
these
side.
tee pads?
and the way that the OB rules work on this hole is there's no drop zone. It's where you were last in bounds. So if you're up on the right side on the riverbank and you're trying to hit the green, you can just keep throwing that shot over and over again.
Yeah, you pretty much will just keep pulling it back to about 280, 300 and just having to try to keep going for it. I said before the tournament we would see double-digit scores on this one, and
We've seen
few
multiple
today.
9s. We saw an 11. We saw a 14
yes,
on this hole.
we saw 2 14s, 2 12. We saw a 12 from a player who is a competitive tour player, and I won't call him out, but he knows who he is.
And the rain held off pretty much all day, and then for this one card on the hardest hole on the course, it just dropped out of the sky.
Yeah, I was two cards ahead of these guys, and as we walked from our upshots to the green here, it just opened up on us, and luckily we were able to just kind of clean up some tap outs. But yeah, having to play the rest of this hole in the wet after just avoiding it all day just adds another layer of difficulty. Another one of those. I feel like 17, 18, 2 of those holes that, unless you're coming down the stretch final round and you really feel like you need them, probably smarter just to lay up and watch everybody else crumble around you. Garrett going with that soft rock up shot. Is he trying to go for it? Oh my gosh, he flirted with that out of bounds. I think that was probably too straight of a disc for that upshot, but
That
no,
was
he's
so
got the
close.
touch.
Just a little jump putt left. And Germ still has some gaps to navigate here.
Touchy, nose up forehand.
Gets the
Ooh.
green flag on the backside of that island.
Ricky steps up, plays quick. You know how Raincoat Rick does. And yeah, make short work of that par.
And Calvin actually has Firebird from
Oh my gosh. Little pinball there.
Wow.
Interesting misfire. Rare misfire from Calvin.
And Calvin's got a bogey the last 4. That happened so quick, man. I mean, he was 7 under par, setting the pace.
Double G turns his round around on the back here. Gonna be able to finish with a 5 down after a clean back 9. Well played, Garrett. Jeremy finishing on a prideful note. Able to cash in that par. Don't worry, you don't need to keep your disc dry anymore, Jeremy. You're done for the day.
Wow. Heimberg
We actually only saw 6 birdies
was
this hole.
-7 at one point, and then those last bogeys are at the end. So unfortunate.
Pairs left. But shout out to
Wasaki
sorry, Yalte
and Garrett
inside.
beating
Just goes out
Heimberg's
pick
hot
four.
round.
The only player probably up there in the mix who got this one. So
Heimberg got the most Somo replays, and then the last 4 holes
a little bit of
just
craziness too.
ate him up.
Enjoyable opening round.
That's a bummer.
Give a shout out to our guys at Central Coast editing into the late hours of the night. Thank you for joining me, Connor. I know you're getting out there and playing today, and I'm getting out there and working on the Disc Golf Network broadcast. And it's really a treat to host this coverage, some of the best coverage in the business.
Absolutely. Going to be a beautiful day out here at North Cove, and these players are going to be looking to keep it as clean as possible.
So we have Kyle Klein, nice. James Proctor again up top. Ben, Isaac, Eric. Not too bad. Wonder if they have round 2 posted already. They do not. No round 2 yet. So
At the North.
let's see the highlights.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to North Carolina. We are right at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the small town to the north for a birdie on 2. This is to get back to par. Bogeyed hole 1. Got it.
I find the live coverage, the quality needs to step up.
That's a beauty, Brian. Would say that this is Germ's favorite distance right here, 28 feet.
He didn't know if it was in or not. It looked a little short-armed, that's for sure.
start getting on top of this 9-speed here and skips up, nearly finds the metal.
Oh, this is where he hits the bend.
Huge stall.
It hits the flag.
Off the flag. Harbolt, birdie.
Oh, yeah.
And here's Gannon's putt on the 4th. Not bad.
Why is that a highlight?
Comfortable lie, but jams it.
Because he's sitting
Here's Rick from
down?
tough footing. This is right at 270 feet. Oh, and he doesn't like it. Gets the nose up. Will it make it?
Got it.
Oh, wow.
He really got it. Proctor on 17. This is the narrowest sliver of a green we have.
And he looks like he's still attacking here.
Yes. He sticks the green. Putting for par. Looked a lot closer to the basket.
Oh, Gannon.
No.
Clearly spike forehand, I guess, is an option.
Beautiful putter shot.
The AJ Carey on number 7. This is about 45-footer uphill. And that is going to get him under par.
Would you classify this as a death putt?
Not with the way Calvin's putts fall. It's not a death putt if it goes in, Nate.
Beauty.
And Ricky makes the correction on that line, and that is a beauty. So if you get this one up to speed, even if it hyzers out a bit early, you should find safety.
Just a casual 500-foot drive.
That's so good is right.
That's the type of shot that makes the next couple of players like almost forced to go for it.
Oh, foot fault. Come on.
There's no other option for this man because he's about to do the same thing. Look at this.
Oh, he's following his tracer. Nearly
Okay.
identical landing spot
Wow.
right there. Wow.
For birdie.
Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah, 45-footer. 375 feet here. Gannon going mid-range, gets this up to flat.
wow. Here's Calvin for birdie. Got it.
Calvin's beautiful. What was that, 70 feet uphill?
And I say conceding the par, Brian. In what world? He's playing to 50 feet intentionally, knowing that he can hit those putts. I mean, he's 38% from circle 2,
Don't
and this
tell
is
the
why.
man
Wow.
he's conceding the par. This is not fun when your only shot on a slope is a forehand roller.
Nailed it.
With the speed.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
For Rick from just outside the circle.
Got it. So good. Line for birdie on 16. Got it as well.
Kyle's been playing so good.
Gorgeous.
He's going to
Calvin for
win.
birdie from circle 2.
Didn't he already win one already?
Okay. If he puts a new disc in the bag, he just drags the marker across his discs.
Girthy,
sure
is that
he's
another
marked on
foot
it.
fault?
Garrett splitting the gap on 13.
No one's calling him on these foot faults?
Look at that. Up ahead, 16, Gannon Burr. That is a high spiking hyzer, something overstable. No problem.
Did he just tombstone that? Under the basket?
That's it. 15, 20 footer for birdie for Ricky.
We're going to take another look at this 60-footer death putt.
No
Bang.
time at all taken.
This is where he gets mad at the tree.
Birdie. Got it.
Just like that, Garrett finds himself tied with Calvin.
We're back on number 18. Annenberg going flex and an absolutely
Massive
crushing
drive.
tee shot down the fairway and actually give himself a putt at birdie.
Birdie on the last hole, too. Such a nice one to
Birdies
get.
hole so far.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
done it.
Who is
What
this
a
guy?
shot from Annenberg. That is parked. Make that 6 birdies on the day on hole 18. Here's Garrett going long shot here. Howard Heiser way up the fairway. That is gorgeous. Is great because the day predicted that we'd have this the entire time.
Yeah, we all prepared for the worst. I'm thankful.
For Brian Earhart, Nate Perkins, we are signing off, and we will see you out there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wow. Round 2 with these 4. Gannonburr on the chase card. Overall, I like the course. It's definitely for skilled players, and honestly, I don't think I'd be very good at it, but these guys are making it look somewhat easy, I guess. Except for Jeremy, he had a little bit of struggles, but not everyone could play their best all the time, right? Let's see the FPO highlights here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back round of the 2020. Looking for her 3rd win this season already. She did not pick up her 3rd win until the Des Moines Challenge on August 21st last year. So early on in the season, we're saying she's not necessarily winner of the Open at Tallahassee last year. Yes.
Nice spot.
Own for birdie.
Nice.
Looking shot to day 1, just a bit more speed. She's right up there towards the top.
Parked it.
Just like that. That's how you draw it up, folks.
Oh, this is round
Fantastic
2
shot, but we have
highlights.
to zoom out and dial it back here. Looking at Hannah Wynn's spicy opening tee shot. Brought to you by the Halal Guys. The Halal Guys strive to delight each customer with unparalleled hospitality and mouth-watering food at great prices, and I suppose shot. Weiss for birdie, she put 90% yesterday inside C1.
Oh. Oh, wobbly and
Par
long.
putt, just outside C1. She's even on the round through 3. Moving ahead to 4, Ella Hansen, forehand down the left side. That
I
will
like
do.
that line.
Wow. Kristen 2 under par. Perfect start so far. She's got a 5-stroke lead on the rest of the field. A lot of players need to put their foot on the gas if they want to catch Kristen. But really, second place is anybody's game right now. I think there's quite a few players within a few strokes of that. Low screamer of a forehand from Jessica Weiss. Off the rocks, and she is just outside the bullseye, putting for birdie. Another within 15. Now Emily Beach for par.
Oh,
Oh!
big
She
shot.
got it off the rock.
I forgot to call the big shot.
Nice.
Elevated pin. She's at the bottom.
I think she's balancing on a boulder there, so to muster up the strength and the coordination to still have such a beautiful line is very impressive.
Now Deanne Carey for birdie on 8. Yes!
Oh, look at that scorecard. Look like
Hole
she's been
6
taking a
averaging
beating.
3.32 on the day. Only one birdie.
I think we're going to have to update that number shortly.
Wow. Talk through the strategy here when you're lining up a shot to go for the birdie.
Look at this nice
Well, at
drive.
345 feet, most of the women in the division have the power to get there. It's just, do you have the courage to take the line necessary to do so? So she pulls it out wide enough that she can play the skip and nestle it just right into the basket.
Up to
That was
Stacey
pretty
Haas
nice.
on the 8th from the top of the hill.
Beautiful
Another one.
putt. This is for birdie. Big shot by Owen. It's another one of those holes where all of the
Parked
discs
it.
seem to filter right towards the basket. Beautiful shot by Haiti. Beautiful height. Jessica gets the birdie.
A lot of these highlights from the girls are just
That
massive
puts Jessica at
putts.
4 under for the round.
Couple drives, but mostly their
Weiss.
putting game is on fire.
Weiss getting the kick off of the incline on the right-hand side back into
Disc
safety.
gods are loving me today.
Henna from the drop zone. Beautiful
Nice.
putt. Great power. Uphill putt into the basket. Saving her par. Hanson able
Wow.
to showcase her power on this hole. It's a massive drive.
Holy cow.
So through 12 holes, Kristen remains in the lead. She's 5 under for the round. 6 strokes ahead of Jessica and Sarah. Silva Saarinen making a big move today, up 15 spots. Rare but beautiful backhand from Sarah Hokum. Looks like she does stay close to the basket.
Back to Ella, hole 16, putting for birdie.
Oh.
And a win. What are you seeing from the line she chose here?
She trusts her disc really exceptionally well here. She is not scared to have it hyzer back towards the basket and towards the danger zone, and she is rewarded for it.
We're back. Haiti. Wonderful putt there on 17. And this is the final shot for Kristen on 18. Got it. And that about does it. Round
Wow.
2 is...
The girls are pretty good. Better than me, at least. Super, super good. Well, there is no round 2 posted up yet. So I think I'm going to end it here. Yeah. I'm going to end the stream here and I'll try to record round 2 when it comes out. Probably tomorrow, but it all depends what time it is. Anyways, thanks for watching. Sub if you can, and have a good night.